Hey, what's happening, good people? Welcome to my first lesson. First off, let me say Happy New Year. I know I probably just scared you right there, like, what is this guy talking about? He's gonna teach us. No, I actually mean, I wanted to show you kind of like what my first lesson that I remember, how it went, kind of motivating some sort of conversation. I want you to leave down a comment below. How did your first lesson go? What did you learn? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? But don't click away, because I got some things that, I came up with just in my own mind that might help you learn or teach a lesson to somebody that's brand new or maybe a little bit more experienced. You could always learn from everybody. But I got this really cool thing that you're going to want to see that I came up with. All right, so I got my little paper over here just to show you kind of how my lesson first went. First of all, there is always some sort of introductory book that was involved. And I'll see if I can find the first one that I ever had. But this is, what I'm using now. I've already kind of burned through this book several times. My off and on and off and on again playing. So this one's actually pretty easy for me to, get through relatively quick. But the main part was when we first started off, probably maybe like you, my teacher kind of drew out the fretboard. And he didn't go down that far. He actually started with the first 3 frets and just started off like this. And just showed me what each open string was. And I kind of knew some of that already from, I didn't go into my first guitar lesson without getting my first introductory book and at least try to know some things. I also had a little bit of background experience. I used to play the alto saxophone in high school. So I knew something a little bit about notes. And then he basically started off with there and explained the order of the notes. And, so he only drew in the natural notes. And that's all that he did for the first, mine was 30 minutes. I don't know if yours was 15, 20, an hour, however long it was. But we didn't have a lot to get through, but he wanted to do, kind of break it in slowly. Didn't want to, crush you in the beginning very quickly. Then we went to the 5th fret a week later, and then the 7th fret. And I think it might have taken a little bit longer each time. So it might not have been, week after week after week. But that's kind of, you kind of get what I'm getting here. Then we went to chords. And he started off with open chords. Took one of those typical ink pads. His, I think, actually was a little bit smaller because what wound up happening was he did E, A, D, and C. He didn't do the G chord. The G chord was actually the next lesson. And then when it was proficient enough in the, doing the simple open chords, you kind of get how it's going. And then once we, progressed to the G chord, then we went to the E minor, and then E7, A minor, A7, D minor, D7, C7, so on and so forth. Then eventually we went to bar chords. In the interest of time, keep it going. The next thing he started was the first scale. that was all we discussed was the pentatonic scale. And then when we got that under our fingers, then we started progressing to the major scale and then the blues scale. And then that's probably about as far as I got with guitar lessons, was just those 3 scales. No other variations. So I only took lessons for about a year. And then eventually he would actually listen to some songs, put out some tabs of the songs that I wanted to, I would give him a tape. Back then, that's all we had. And he would listen to it and he would tab it out in front of me in small little increments. And then we come back every week and eventually have a full song. I think my first song might have been Machine Head by Bush. What was your first song? Leave a comment down below. And then eventually he wound up taking like chord progressions and recording them for me to play over, kind of like backing tracks, and to come back the next week and play it for him. But I have some sort of things that might help you as a learner or as a teacher with things like that. So if you haven't noticed, I have these markers over here. And all you have to do is take a piece of paper, get some lines on it through Microsoft Word, put it in the, landscape mode over here. And now you have a erasable thing that you could use for writing out tablature. And you just, whatever you're gonna do. Looks like this pen's a little died out. Let's see how the blue comes out. There we go. See? Just like that. So also, right here, we have one with everything on it. Everything but the natural notes. You could use it to quiz, obviously it's gonna be pretty easy to know it's F sharp, G flat, but you could do something like that and have them fill in the rest. Then you could also, use it as draw the scale on it itself. Just like that. Or you could have a blank one. Like so. And then you could use this to test your student, test yourself. What's this one? And then you have the other one that's already completely filled out. It's E, A, D, G. So if you get it, obviously. Or you can use it to write out the chords, bigger form. So you could actually even shrink this down, make it into smaller sections and use it that way for chords. I also drew this kind of cool little thing on here that kind of myself have referred to as almost like a highway type thing, where when you are going up, you slide up one, and when you're going back, you slide down one. That's way too complicated, but I just put it in there for my own memory and for myself. But you could do anything you want here. Put a scale in there, and then obviously I didn't bring something to erase with. You will want to wipe them off really good and get some sort of cleaner, and also make sure that dries before you start writing on it again, because then you get the smear marks on it. If you don't clean it off good every once in a while, you'll start to see the color seeps into the plastic a bit. But this is really inexpensive to do. And I'm actually thinking about maybe making these just for the heck of it. Not that it was maybe, not my crude, drawing here. This is hand-drawn lines, but maybe, actually through Microsoft or something like that. And maybe just send them out to my Patreon members every once in a while, just as a simple thank you. Yeah, so obviously this is kind of what I'm gonna be using for my preparation into getting back into learning the guitar. And this is how my lesson went. And I really would love to know how your lessons went. Also, if you know of any people out there that are maybe content creators that actually, do lessons and they maybe want to get some type of exposure, not looking for a free handout, but if they want to, maybe do a live stream or a pre-recorded thing where they, give me a lesson, I think it might be good to get exposure to you guys. Leave a comment. Don't get too crazy and spamming them a lot. Be like, you got to give this guy a lesson. Although I do definitely need the lessons. I hope you really enjoyed this kind of like insight into how my guitar journey started. And I really do want to know what yours was like. So please, again, leave a comment down below. Go to the Discord, write it up in the open discussion forum. There's a link down below to all that. But again, we hope you all have a happy new year. Here's to learning the guitar. You've all been a fantastic audience. And as always, stay tuned.